We're here talking about Emma Kate passing away, and coming at 4 years on November the 11th. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. So it's not too far away, actually. 4 years.
So, and we're keeping in mind that this is sort of a G-rated thing. How would you describe the season of losing Emma Kate?
Yeah, it's 4 years on from now, and reflecting on what the journey's been like, and reflecting on the journey throughout that process has been interesting. And it was a 3-year journey that she was on in this cancer battle that she went through over this course of time. And during that time, we always believed that we would see a miracle, and we always believed that we would we saw many little miracles along the way, and we were expecting, and as time went on and more bad news popped out and more bad news popped out, I felt like there was this time where I was going through where I had to push harder with God and pray more and fast more, and I felt like if I wasn't, I was compromising the fact that we may not see a miracle. So I felt like in that season that I was really trying to push to see a miracle. And when it didn't happen like what we were expecting, you can imagine it sort of shook me and really rocked me.
Yeah.
And I guess I've thought about it a bit, and it's like an analogy of a glass house that experiences an earthquake. You can imagine all the glass would shatter, and the metal framing of that glass would still be there, but the glass is shattered. And I refer to my ideologies and my the way I guess I put God in a box about who in that time would have perceived God to be. That seemed to have all shattered after this experience that I've gone through of not seeing the miracle.
Yeah.
And these ideologies of who I really thought, I guess, God was in that aspect was shattered. But the foundation or the frame of knowing that God is good and that God is love was still there and solid. And so I guess as a result on that, it took me on this journey where I would come after she'd passed away and try and pray, and I couldn't pray like I used to. I couldn't pray with words. And over a year went by, and I still could not pray any words. I would try, and I couldn't bring words into prayers. But I think what I learned through that season is that words weren't important in my prayers then. I would often put music on and sit in the lounge while my girls were in bed and just feel like I was sitting in the presence of God. And that peace was God just filling me up. And so I felt this overwhelming influx of continual peace and a real blessing in that. And so if I were to put words to what has this season been like, it's probably been like a season of resting and rebuilding.
Right.
So rebuilding in my understanding that God is so much more in love. He's so much more about love and so much more about caring. And even if we don't see the miracles that we're expecting to see, even if we don't see that we still know that he loves us.
Yeah.
Still know that he is good through all of that.
So talking today about Isaiah 61, this concept of sort of, beauty from ashes, the good stuff coming out of really difficult times in our lives. So what would you see as being that some of that beauty that has come out for you?
Yeah, there has been a lot of beauty through all of this. I mean, look, particularly around people, and my family has been a big part to play through all of this, where they've been so supportive. But just seeing these relationships flourish with my girls and their grandparents and families just grown amazingly. But I'd say a big part also would be friendships. and friendships have grown more so than anything, I would say. I feel richer than I've ever felt with friendships and with connections with people. Look, throughout our journey that we went through, friends were amazing. They came together and gave so much, and of their time and their energy and prayers, and but they didn't just stop there. It's carried on through. And as a result of that, it's feel like I lost my best friend, but I've managed to build many good friends, not Facebook like friends, but friends that actually really input into your life, and I input into theirs and challenge you, and you grow together. So in various forms, and friends within work environment, friends within sports environment, and social, a whole mixture of different friends that have really come together or come into my world and to my girls' world as well, which has been a real blessing. Family would be one, friends would be another. But come back to this family aspect, I'd say I've got 3 daughters, Madison and Ella, that are going on 13 end of this year, and Ruby, who's 9, and their love for me would be like a real beauty that has come through all of this. Often when you've got 2 parents, your children's love is split between 2 in a way. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes with the mother, it's probably mother's a bit more affectionate with children. So I feel like I've received all of what they had there is sort of coming all onto me. So it's this overflowing love. And as you know, Stan, that Emma Kate was somebody that really demonstrated love, and she loved people, and she role modeled that to my girls so well as they were growing up. She would always be preparing meals for people, or visiting people, or always speaking good of people, and that rubbed off onto my girls, whether they know it or not. It rubbed off onto them, and I can see that now in the way that they are with their friends, or they are with me, and they look out for me, and there's this love that I feel that is so rich, that I feel very blessed to be able to have these girls. I mean, boys might not quite be the same, but there's a special daughter-daddy relationship, which I feel really blessed. So I guess that would be a big beauty that I've seen throughout as a result of what went on there.
That's awesome, man. To others, others that might be experiencing some sort of kind of brokenness or ash kind of experience in their lives, be it of this nature or something completely different, any particular sort of things that you would encourage them in?
Yeah, I think sometimes when you're going through the journey and you're going through the battles, it's sometimes hard to be able to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And sometimes when you're going through that, it's hard to even know, is God actually here with me? But to realize that even the days that we don't feel God's presence, to know that he is there and that he is walking this journey through us. And no matter what happens, that we can trust in him, that his plan is greater than our plans. I think a really great book, God on Mute by Peter Gregg, and he speaks about in there. And I read this after Emma Kate passed away, and it was such a it was a real healing book. It was actually a really worthwhile book to read. But in there, he spoke a little bit about having faith in faith. Sometimes we can have faith that our faith is enough faith to have faith to see that miracle, as opposed to actually have faith where you'd say, God, I trust in you and I'm believing for a miracle, but if I don't see that miracle, I trust in you that your ways are greater. And when I was going through this battle, I never wanted to go to the extent of saying, if she didn't survive, I didn't want to think that, because thinking maybe it's affecting my faith, and if my faith is a little bit low, then the miracle may not happen. But just really having that aspect of saying, God, I trust in you.
Yeah.
You know what's going to happen. And I just choose that to believe that your plans are greater.
Yeah.
So
awesome. Well, Greg, thank you so much. There's lots more that we could talk about, and difficult to sort of sum up a season that has been so significant in just a few short minutes. But thanks so much for just sharing heart. And as you say, Emma Kate she loved really well, you know, and I've often reflected on just the way in which you have carried on her legacy of that as well. And, you know, I know that she'd be incredibly proud of you, proud of the way that you're living your life. Thanks for always, you know, just turning towards God in the thick and the thin, when it's easy and when it's definitely not. So thanks, man. Really appreciate you sharing your heart, eh?
Thanks, Stan. No, that's great. A pleasure.